Okay, so an evening's drying and I think we're good to go. It's a nice thick undercoat. Right, I think I'm going to try and film some of this. I need to find a way of setting you up somewhere so you can see how I do it, not necessarily how it is to be done. So what's next? I'm not going to rub it down. And I know some people are going to go, oh, you should. My view is an entirely flat surface, i.e. rubbing it down more gives less for the paint to adhere to. So as much as this is a great finish, and I'm holding myself back from proving it by rubbing my hands on it and getting grease on it, as much as it's great finish, it needs a little bit of roughness, otherwise nothing's going to bed to it. So I'm going to leave it as this. I've got my paint warming up in a nice thing of warm water just to raise it a little bit because it's been out in the garage, and I'll try and set you up somewhere. Be right back. Okay, so we're good to go. Just set you up there. Having said I'm not going to rub it down, I haven't, but when I put this big strong light source that's behind you to light this up, there's a few like dust bits on there, so I've just given it a really light dust off with some 1000 grit. So that's not sanding it, that is literally just rubbing, you know, with the weight of the paper effectively, just to get rid of those bits. Not disastrous, but they would annoy me. So bit of Halford Special, which is fine for the basics like this, I think, in my humble opinion. And let's get going. So just a light first coat is all I'm after here. Trying to keep the can moving so I don't overload any particular area. It's a little bit awkward doing this for you, but hey. Oops, trying to grab the paint. I'll tell you what, this little dolly that I've got this set up on has made my life so much easier. I do have to remember to turn it both ways, otherwise I'm just going to wind up the paper underneath it. Although it seems to be winding it up anyway, never mind. Right, that'll do me first pass. Okay, so a few minutes later, well, actually 10 minutes later, just remember you're over there. Now last time I did this, I didn't pay enough attention, because I was up high and this was down low, I didn't pay enough attention to the underseal, so it had a really quite a thin layer on it, so it looked great from above, not so great on a proper angle. So just trying to learn from mistakes is probably pushing it a bit far, but trying to learn from experience. Just do things a little bit better each time I do it. Getting a bit thick down that bottom end, I need to be a little bit careful. try and keep it as even as I can. I sound a bit snotty this morning. So there's all sorts of videos on painting techniques. I'm not normally a big fan of filming my painting because it'll get critiqued. It's one of those things. I mean, I've equated it to sex before, in terms of there's loads of videos on it and everyone has their own techniques. But yeah, I'm just trying to not overload it. Not trying to get a nice thick solid black off one coat. If nothing else, that's going to take forever to dry. That'll do for this coat, I think. I'll keep it nice and patchy for now. I'm getting a bit heavy down the bottom end, so I need to concentrate more on the top end. I need more on that bottom bit, but I'll do that on the next coat. Alright, that'll do as coat 2. And back for more. A few more minutes. So keeping the can in a little bucket of warm water. It achieves a great deal, but it stops it chilling out too much in this weather. Now I need to concentrate on this top end a little bit more because I'm trying to keep it even. Not too bad. Just try and handle it there. I see that. Sorry. Can't see any obvious. Alright, it's not looking too shabby. Put my paint back in my water bath. Cup of tea. You can see how cold it is this morning. My tea's steaming away. Yes, getting there. I'm going to let that dry off and then start on some wet coats. So by wet coats I mean I've been, same sort of distance away, but I've been dusting across. I'm just going to try and put a bit more structure on it, a bit more overlap, and just try and get it to thicken out a little bit, because the base colour is there. It's now more the getting the weight of paint and the texture. So be right back. Back again. I'm going to go a bit thicker. A bit thicker on this one. So can nice and warm throughout. I've just replenished that warm water because it's cooled down. So just going for a bit of an overlap. this time. But this is also where you get the danger of runs. But do what you can do. And don't go too stupid. That's looking pretty good, if I do say so myself. Right, so because that is fundamentally a thicker coat, considerably thicker coat, I'm just going to leave that a little bit longer to cure, dry. Yeah, so I'm going to give that, what, a good 20 minutes or so. I'll try and fuck it. Yeah, it's a good 20-minute dry on that, I think, and then I'm going to give it, there's a fair amount of that left. I'm just going to use up that whole can, I think, and just give it another couple of good wet coats like that. Cool. Put it back on. Alright, that's the dregs of that can. I'm going to stop because when you get right to the end of a can, it starts spitting. And I don't want to do that. I don't want to ruin a good lot of work here. I'm going to let that cure for a decent amount of time, and then I'm going to move on to the funky stuff. Catch you later. Right, now the fun, if slightly scary bit. Trying to get this patterning on. So, I've got a plastic bag. I've gone for a really cheap thin one. God, this light really bleaches it out. Really cheap thin one because I want the patterns off it, so I don't really want to go for a big thick, if you're in the UK, like bag for life type thing. The paint I'm using that has been warming up, but I do need to give it a bit more of a shake, is there. It is Rust-Oleum, so it's decent stuff, but actually it was what I could get cheap. Elegant finish, apparently. But it's basically silver with some sparkle. So what am I going to do here, apart from... Oh, I've got gloves in here. And usually I'm going to cover myself up because it does tend to go all over your hands. So it's spraying some on the bag and going for a dabbity dab dab. So it's getting a good load of creases, which you're not going to be able to see because that light's really bright. Bit of spray on the bag without going mental. Bit of board here just to show you and then a tappity tap tap. So let's see how we go. Bit of sprays on there. This is going to be slightly heartbreaking. Actually, it is slightly heartbreaking as you destroy all your beautiful paintwork by chucking other dabs on it. You want enough paint on it, but you don't want to go mental. And if you get any dabs that are too hard, too heavy, before they dry off too much, just give them another whack. Now, in a moment of complete sacrifice here, I'm doing this left-handed so that you can get a decent view. I don't actually know how much I want to take it over the bend. Let me have a think while I'm doing it. So, round to the front. Oh, dried out. You want to get enough paint on this that to do with this paint so you get the sparkle, but not enough that you might as well just paint it silver. A bit too much there, so just dab on it again, just to break it up a bit. Do you know what? I don't think I am going to do the edges. I think that looks quite cool. A bit of contouring. I don't know what you are, but you can come off. Get that roughly so it's about the same on each. Right, I think that'll do me. I'll do a bit around the gas tap. Americanisms around the fuel cap. Remember how much the actual cover covers, if you catch my drift. It up to that edge, but I don't really want it on that lip. Come here, yeah, swine. A little bit of a turn. Right, I think that'll do me. So what? I don't know how much you can pick up on there. I've deliberately, it says deliberately, not gone on the edges there, gone around the edge. There needs to be a cap. I need to put something up on that. I was going to put my Banksy print, but I've chosen to do that on the side panels instead for a simple reason, is I love it. I really do love that Banksy print, but whoever buys this, whenever I do get round to selling it, if indeed I ever do, might not have my specific tastes or lack thereof. So I want to make it nice and easy if anybody wants to change it. So if you want to do something Fandango, if you do it on a small panel, it's relatively easy for them to just take it off and spray over, or replace a bit more of a bull's egg with a tank, as I've pretty much displayed for the last couple of days. Yeah, I don't want to go overboard. It's quite a bold paint job, and if I do too much on the sides, I don't know, I just think it's a bit too much. So I think I'm going to leave it like that. Right, so I'm going to leave that to dry. I'm supposed to be going out for a wander, but it's just started to hack it down again, so we'll see what happens with that plan. I'm going to let that dry, and I'll start breaking out the candy coat the second I remember where I've put it. Cheers. Okay, so fun bit over. That's the stuff that I'm using, which is Paint Factory Candy Blue. So that's a complete can there, and the goal here is to get this can on there. This stuff takes forever to cure if you put it on too thick, so I want to go for lots of thin layers. So and it does spray really well. Smells horrendous, but sprays well. Going for a little bit of a light dusting first time round. Just start to see that blue come through a bit. That's just quite good lacquer on the black as well. A hint of bluey green. Stuff's horrible. Right, without going overboard, that is coat one for now. Coat one of however many I get out of that. Cool. Okay, so go for a bit more dusting. Nice. Right, I'll do. Let that dry a bit and go again. Okay, that's had a bit of time to cure. Let's start going proper coats, I think. Right, that's a good wet coat. Going to leave that for a good period to dry, I think, and partly because we're going to go out for a wander because the sun's come out. Happy with that. It's getting there. It is getting there. No, happy. Bro, right, more to follow. Okay, so a second for you, several hours for me, having been out. Mrs. Kid's dog bouncing around the woods. Gone for a tramp in the woods. We enjoyed it more than the tramp, etc, etc. It's nicely dried off, so another wet coat. It's looking pretty good actually, I have to say. Get that nice glassy finish already. Out in the cold, cramping up a bit. Right, that'll do for another coat. Time for another one, possibly the last one, because the can's feeling a bit light. Moving my dolly round. anti-clockwise again in a minute. Bling, bling, bling. It's looking good. Can's starting to sound a little bit on the light side. Stop there, because as it gets really light it starts to just spit out the edge. Right, I think that's done. Right, 2 seconds. Right, so that is it. That is looking, we see that light reflecting off beautifully. See the rafters from the rafters, see the roof. Yeah, happy with that. So what? That's blinging. Absolutely love that. This stuff does take a while to dry. I do have 2K clear to put on the top. I don't think that's a today job. I think that's a tomorrow job. Yeah, because that's going to need to cure properly and it's going to take a while. So yeah, I'm going to pull these together. Look at that. Ching, 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 ching. Yeah. So what am I going to do? I am not going to rub it down at all. I'm going to 2K clear over that as is and then rub it down. A bit 6 2/3. A bit depends on who you ask as to which way is best to doing it, but that's my decision. Look at that. Ching, ching, ching. You can actually get some of the shine and glitter out of that. As cool as you like. Right, happy days. Yeah, I think that's me for the day. I'm going to let that cure and pull these videos together. What do you think, people? Let me know. Cheers all. Ta-da.